everyone, welcome back to Yulan's channel. Today we'll be beginning our first video of Unit 4 of AP Psychology, which is learning. And today we'll just have like a brief overview of what will be in this unit and just give you some background knowledge before we actually delve into the course materials. And hope if you haven't watched my previous videos on Unit 1 to 3, which is Scientific Foundation of Psychology, Biological Basis of Behavior, and Sensation and Perception, please do watch those videos because it's really helpful. And all those are built together, and so that you have a broader understanding, knowledge of psychology. And even though you're not, maybe you might not really actually prepare for AP Psych, but just this course curriculum is really good to have like a general understanding of of psychology, and it's also really good to watch these videos. So yeah, let's begin. So here's this quote from College Board. Some psychologists focus their body on how humans and their other animals learn, and how some experiences can also lead to changes in behavior and mental processes. Because the process of learning requires both physiological and psychological processes to work together, the two preceding units provide the foundation of this unit. Many psychologists who study learning focus on observable behaviors, and which is like behaviorist, and how those behaviors can be changed or reinforced. Other learning psychologists study how the individual's observations of other people's behaviors influence changes in the individual's mental processes and resulting behavior. So we have two guiding questions for y'all. The first one is, how do we learn? You might be wondering this as well a lot, because are they naturally born when we are at the birth, or we are built on as we keep on and growing older and gaining more knowledge from our environment? And our second question is, how do our experiences influence our behaviors and mental processes? So, while learning is often associated with memory, it refers to the learning or the acquisition of behaviors in the AP Psychology curriculum. Generally, the unit includes three different types of learning: classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and observational learning, which is And classical conditioning involves the acquisition of reflexive behaviors that are in response to an environmental stimulus. Operant conditioning focuses on voluntary or largely controllable behaviors followed by an environmental response, which usually involves providing something or taking away something that changes the chances of the behavior happening again. And then we have observational learning, refers to behaviors that are learned through modeling someone else for something's behavior, and this unit occupies around 7 to 9% of the exam. So here are some key facts psychologists need to know for this unit. Albert Bandura, he was known for his bubble doll experiment. In this study, children watched the film of an adult beating on an inflatable bubble doll. Later on, when put into the room containing various toys, including the bubble doll, the children were more likely to model or imitate the aggressive behaviors they already observed than a control group of children who did not view the movie. And then we have Ivan Pavlov. I think we mentioned those psychologists in our first video on Unit 1, because yeah, that's basically all psychologists need to know for this exam. So Pavlov, he was known for his work with the reflexive responses of the dog. His research laid the groundwork for classical conditioning, and we'll talk what is classical conditioning in our next video. And then we have Robert Rescorla. Rescorla's research focused on the contingency model of conditioning, which showed that not all stimulus-response pairings result in conditioning. They are merely dependent upon the cognitive interpretation as to whether the pairing is logical. For example, if a researcher tries to condition a person to salivate to the sound of tone, but the participant believes that it was a piece of clothing the experimenter was wearing that produced the response, the participant may show conditioning to the shirt and not the tone. And then we have Edward Lee Thorndike. He was known for the law of effect, which suggests that the behaviors with favorable consequences will be strengthened, while behavior followed by unfavorable consequences will be weakened. His theory laid the groundwork for B.F. Skinner's future contributions to our understanding of operant conditioning. And our second last is Edward Tolman. He was known for latent learning. His work with rat mazes revealed that rats were learning how to go through the maze even though it was not immediately apparent. When rats went through numerous trials through the maze without reward for finishing the maze, they did not demonstrate any improvement in time. However, when they received the reward, the following trial showed a marked decrease in time, indicating that they had a mental representation or cognitive map of the maze. Notice that this often comes up during the multiple choice section, which is a cognitive map. These results suggest that cognitive processes were present despite the stark behaviorists claim that thoughts were unobservable. Okay, now we have John B. Watson. He was an earlier 20th century behaviorist who proved that fear responses could be learned. Watson worked on conditioning a young infant, known as little Albert, to fear rats. He also demonstrated stimulus generalization with Albert, who not only presented fear of the rat but all for things. So his experiment was later to prove or say to be unethical because his experiment created really bad trauma or fear for the participant. Okay, our last one is John Garcia. Garcia showed that there are biological constraints to conditioning. For example, internal body processes such as nausea are more readily conditioned to a stimuli experienced internally, such as taste, which happens in the body, specifically in the mouth. External bodily experiences, such as the sense of pain, are more readily conditioned with external stimuli, such as a tone or light, which manifests outside the body. This conditioning is the Garcia effect. One specific application of this effect is that humans are readily conditioned to the sense of taste since it is closely associated with our survival. So this slide shows some of the key vocab, and those is collected or summarized by the website Fiveable. It's really useful in preparing all those exams or SAT, etc. And I suggest all of you to check their website out. Okay, so these are the vocab for this unit you need to know, and we talk about our main focus will be different learnings, and all those terms are inside the learning, and what are some really I don't know, key terminology, I guess. So yeah, that's the end of our video today. Thank you for listening, and please when my future videos come out, please like and subscribe to my channel if you find this interesting, and I will try to create more high level videos in the future.